let's watch this amazing Karen video first. Because it's hard to believe that someone is this obtuse.
I think the strawberries are beautiful.
Yeah. You know what? They might be beautiful, but they're stolen. Yeah, they are. It has to have receipts. By law, it has to have receipts to prove that they're not stolen. That's the law.
They're fruit.
Where's the profit incentive to sell things that aren't stolen? I'm the resident of this neighborhood. That's right. Are you going to live here? I'm going to sue you.
Oh, I just assume, but I
am wrong too. Okay, where do you live?
my neighborhood.
Okay, well, this is illegal.
No,
this
wait, this is government property.
No, this is an R1 zoning district. You don't know.
I do know my
R1 zoning district means strictly residential, no businesses. He has no business permit.
If my kid,
let me finish.
If my kid wants to put a lemonade stand here, are you going to call him names?
That's different.
You're a bully.
No, you're an idiot. And I'm protecting my property rights.
No. The truth is, you, like a mush-brained zombie, were led here by an uncontrollable urge to protect something far different.
And I'm protecting my property rights.
You came to protect your perceived right to subjugate everyone that doesn't look like you. You've seen your power over the lesser people waning year after year as the dirty minorities have started to fight back, own their own businesses, play politics, and every day chip away at the fragile sense of superiority that for so long defined you, Darren. That's what you're here to protect. Thank God for the anti-Karen hero here, coming to this business owner's defense. Who knows what you would have done to this poor guy? Peace to the people in Buffalo right now.
Where in the hell
Okay.
you're protecting all of these neighbors?
It doesn't matter. It's illegal.
Dude,
It is illegal. I already did.
So, to the rest of us, that guy's racism seems pretty much self-explanatory. And I would think my response was fairly well-crafted and easy to understand. But Denise Kielbasa doesn't think so. You see, people like Denise Kielbasa, they think that the person who calls out the racism is the racist. You see, because people would rather walk around like this all day long. And there's only one reason for that. Guilt, sure. Kinda. But that's not really it in my assessment of the situation. The real problem people have when racism is called out is if you can just not talk about it, never say it, it doesn't actually exist. That means that you don't have to do anything. That's why. You see, when somebody calls out racism, you have one of two choices. You can ignore it, right? Which means that the person is calling them a liar and ignoring it is the same thing. Or you can take it in, and that means you have to either do something or not do something. And not doing something about racism. Not doing something about racists saying racist things. Not doing something about people being abused because of their race, ethnicity, or gender or whatever is a bad thing, and you know that. So rather than feel bad, rather than actually have to do something, it's better to just say, well, they're lying. Nobody's enslaved anymore, so racism doesn't exist. All you're saying is, I'm too lazy to do anything about the racism that I see. And it's more important for me to be comfortable than it is for you to have justice. That's it. I'm not saying you have to march. I'm not saying you have to go, all out and do whatever it is that people who are actually affected by it have to do in order to live. Fine. You have another life to live. You're not affected by it every day. But when you see it, when someone calls it out, says, hey, look at the racism. The minute you go, why are you always talking about race? You're a racist. All that is projection, number one. Why am I always talking about it? Because obviously you haven't heard it enough. That's why I'm talking about it, because you still think it doesn't exist. You still think the person talking about people being racist is racist because they didn't go like this and walk around with a smile, because that's what you want to do. Anybody brings it up is disturbing your comfort because they're making you have to actually make the choice. Am I going to be a bad person today, or am I going to be a good person today? What's funny is when Denise Kilbasa says, hey dummy, who speaks on here? That's me. Quit trying to race bait. You tried to make the argument with the two white people arguing over the Hispanic person selling lemonade or whatever. I would have thought you watched it. It was very clear what he was selling. They said the name. It was fruits. But I got you. About racism against black people. What the F? Huh? You saw the video. One white person tells another Hispanic person to stop selling fruit in his neighborhood. Another white person says, great Auntie Karen says, you're just a bully. And I talk about the racist white person who's had it their way for so long, and the last vestiges of power that they have left, that they've seen waning over the past few years, because people are finally waking up and not standing for it anymore. You say, I made that about black people because I pointed out the person was being racist? What you seem to think is there's some hierarchy. Well, being racist against Hispanics isn't that bad. But what people have been waking up to is the black thing. And that's what you meant when you said that. No, I meant waking up to injustice in any form, in any color. Denise Kilbasa. The mere fact that you think the only reason why people are upset about racism is because it's them lets me know why you think I'm race baiting when I'm talking about someone else. You don't even get it. It doesn't ever occur to you, maybe he cares about someone who's not his race. Because I, Denise Kilbasa, don't give a shit about anybody else. About anyone else who's not exactly like me. I don't understand how he could be so empathetic. Is what you've told me. That's not race baiting. It's a video that showed racism happening, and I made fun of it. What's funnier than that, Denise Kilbasa, is the fact that I have 25,000 subscribers, something like that. 20,500, I don't know, 23. Most of them are white people over 50. They love Karen shows. I don't know why. More than that are white people of all ages. And maybe a third are people of color. All of those white people subscribe, laugh, comment, because they see themselves and relate to the anti-Karen soldiers in the videos. You see the difference, Denise Kilbasa? This is the mirror. Every other white person identifies with the person who's calling out the racism. That's why they enjoy watching it and laughing. Only the person who identifies with the racist says I'm race baiting. Isn't that funny? Isn't that interesting, Denise Kilbasa? 24,000 or so white people watch the show, identify with the anti-Karen, laugh, And one Denise Kielbasa comes in and says you're race baiting because you didn't cover your eyes. Because you're talking about the wrong race. Even though that's not what I was doing. Because I made racism against someone else about black people. That's not what I did. What I did was call out the fact that racists, people who've enjoyed a certain amount of power in their neighborhood, in their social structure, being able to call the police anytime they want to get people kicked out. And now the police have to wear cameras. They're waning in their power. Now they have to sit there and watch people march about not wanting to die because they don't have guns and the police shot them anyway. They just can't get back at them anymore. They're having to watch people of color get educated, graduate, get jobs, and become president. And it has bothered them. They're having to watch whatever news they're watching telling them that people of color are coming across the border and taking all of their cherry-picking jobs. All of their hotel cleanup jobs. Those good old jobs that they used to work at. And yes, they're in their neighborhood pushing a push cart selling fruit. And you ask them, where did you buy it from? Did you do that when you went to Walmart? Did you do that to the hot dog vendor in New York on the city street? He was white. That's why you didn't do it. The company is rich. That's why you didn't do it. You asked the guy who looked Hispanic and not like you because you felt powerful enough to do so. Where did you buy that fruit from is what this guy said to the poor guy just trying to make a living with a pushcart selling fruit. So, no, Denise Kielbasa, I didn't make it about black people because he was selling lemonade or whatever, in your words. I made it about the people who are racist losing power, and that I find funny. I like watching it. I like to see it. It gives me hope to watch people who've enjoyed power and entitlement their whole lives, degrading others, get put in their place. People who felt an unearned sense of superiority simply because they lived in a social structure that has benefited them more than others. I find that deeply gratifying, and you find it race baiting. The mirror is here, Denise Kielbasa. You find it race baiting because if you were ever to admit that this guy was racist, the anti-Karen was right, and I'm really funny, or whatever, that means you would have to do something. That means you can't do this anymore. And that makes you uncomfortable. That means you can't blame it on them because they're just somehow genetically more criminal than everybody else. Not because anybody who's named Shaniqua, they get their resume thrown to the side, and everybody whose name is Sarah, they get their resume thrown on the let's take a look pile. No, pointing that out to you means that you have to either agree with it, accept it, or do something about it. And that makes you uncomfortable. Look at it. No matter what race, we don't need a effing dummy voice telling us anything. Wah, wah, wah. Yeah, you do. Yes, you do. This, where is it? This lets me know that you need to hear it. This lets me know that you've closed off your ear holes and your eye sockets for so long that I'm going to be speaking on this for a very long time before I can ever get through to the people like you. So I have a lot more work to do and a lot more to tell you, Denise Kielbasa. And if you were a smart person, you'd realize right now that you have a chance to change. But I have a feeling, like most of us, you'll double down on stupid. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget, this was just a short clip from our live show that goes on Patreon. You gotta be there. If you want to be a part of this show, ask me anything and watch this type of thing live for an hour usually. Come on, join up. Become a patron. That's all you gotta do. And we do this probably once or twice a month. Also, you can join the page itself and we do another live show for all the members of the channel. I got shout outs. Let's do them. First things first, new Patreon members and new channel members. I'm just going to do a whole show for you guys. I'm going to name you guys. I'm going to put it out there. I'm going to try to really show how much you mean to me. And I have so many of them, it's hard to keep track of, and I think that's a good problem to have. So wait for that show. I'm just going to give the regular shout outs right now. Julia Benson Reason, Karima Smith, Douglas Laley, Glenn Wilcox, and very extra special shout outs, V. Danford, who sent a $10 donation, I think through Super Chat, and Lotta Apple Q Vist. Wow, $20. Thank you so much for that donation. Man, you guys always find a way to surprise me. I know I have the best fans on YouTube with the best comments, the most intelligent, the most caring. Listen, I would put us against anybody, and I'm not saying it to blow smoke. I've done this for years and I've said it for years. I've found a way to cultivate the best fans, most intelligent, free-thinking fans on YouTube. Check the comments. See how many trolls exist. They don't. And when they do, they get eviscerated by you guys, not even me. See the debates, how many different opinions are here. And all of them are accepted, debated. Man, y'all are awesome. That's all I gotta say. I'm done. Peace.